But the point being that only just now, 5 years after going through this kind of discovering what my passion was and then losing it and then trying to find a new passion and then working on that and then trying to work through all the challenges, only after about 5 years of that arc that I went through do I now feel like I'm getting to the point where I'm back on track. And it's still going to take quite a bit of work for me, and I'm still battling all those creative challenges again now that I'm in this creative position with this website and the videos that I'm shooting and the coaching that I'm doing and all the personal development research that I'm doing. But just now I'm starting to feel it, and it feels amazing, and I'm so excited about what the future can be for me with this peak experience of creative contribution. The reason I mention it, though, is because I want a tangible example. I was trying to talk about creative contribution in other videos, but it's been difficult for me because it's hard to communicate something so abstract. I think many people out there don't even realize what this feels like. It's almost like trying to describe sex or an orgasm to someone who's never had it, or it's trying to describe, the taste of a ripe peach on a hot summer day to someone who doesn't have any taste buds. It's like it's difficult to describe that, or describing the beauty of like a sunset or the beauty of some natural vista out like in the desert or in the forest. Like those are experiences that are almost transcendent and like tap into the highest self. A certain a higher level of consciousness is required to hit those. And I think that a lot of people go through life without experiencing these high states of consciousness and without experiencing these peak experiences, specifically creative contribution. And I think that that's my biggest challenge to you with career and life purpose, is that if you're coming to me with questions about life purpose, if you're coming to me with questions about career, or if you're just wondering about, what is the best that you can get out of your work? And what is the best that you can get out of your business? I think this is it. It's creative contribution. And I'm not the only one that says this. Most self-development experts out there, especially that are working and experienced in the field of career, will tell you that one of the greatest pleasures in life is contribution, right? It's giving of yourself. It's not about focusing on yourself and getting more money. That stuff tends to be very shallow. It's about what you can contribute. And not only contribute something positive, but contribute yourself, where you're self-expressive. So there's a difference between, say, me going to a soup kitchen right now and ladling out soup to people, and me contributing to society in the way that is tapping into my greatest gifts. Because, I am not a good soup ladler. I'm not a very interpersonal kind of guy who likes to, go out there and hobnob with the poor and the hungry. I'm not a Mother Teresa type figure. So for me, that's not like my thing. That's not where my talents lie. My talents lie in being analytical and in sharing my expertise and my knowledge and my understanding with people. I'm really good at looking at something, studying it, dissecting it, creating a model of it, modeling it, and then saying, here you go, here's this model, how can it help you in your life? And so that's a different form of contribution. And when you're looking for ways to contribute in your life, instead of thinking about, well, I could just earn a ton of money doing something over here, and then I can go and take that money and maybe go contribute it to a charity, or I can go give that money to my family. Instead of contributing in that kind of way, what I want to urge you to do is to set up your life so that the contribution is happening through your greatest gift. And that is happening through your work, or your career, or your business. I think that's a much more powerful way to go about it. So a lot of people do it backwards, right? A lot of people will go work a dead-end job, or maybe even not a dead-end job, but a great job, but it's still not very fulfilling for them, but it earns them, let's say, a lot of money. Like maybe a lawyer will be working as a lawyer because he's earning a lot of money, but he doesn't like doing the legal work, and he doesn't really think that he's helping people with with the legal cases. He might be miserable doing that. But he says to himself, well, I'm earning a lot of this money, which I can use and put to good by helping my family out, by helping other people through charities and through my donations, and the social work that I'm doing, and the stuff that I'm doing on the side with my hobbies. So that's definitely not a bad strategy. You can do that. That's better than what most people are doing out there. But I think there's a much more powerful route. And that is looking at what are your greatest strengths? What are the gifts that you really want to share? What is the creative contribution that you want to impart on the world? What do you feel is most important? What is the biggest difference that you feel would be necessary out there in the world? And if you went out there and you made that difference, and you made that positive impact, that impact is positive, so you're contributing by making that impact. For example, for me, I think one of the greatest things that is lacking in the world right now is awareness around psychology, specifically practical psychology. How do you get your mind, how do you understand your mind so that you can go out there and create a really successful life and be very productive and have high performance and be successful and be happy? I think that if more people understood that, then the world would be much better off. So for me, I do that by shooting a video, or I do that by writing an article, or I do that by coaching somebody. That's how I do it. And for me, that's a really powerful way to contribute. And when I'm putting my analytical strengths into it, because my greatest strength, I think, is my analytical abilities, when I'm putting that in there and I'm sharing my understanding with you in a profound way, that comes back to me. That comes back to me not only in me feeling really good, it makes me feel super fulfilled. That kind of feeling I can't buy with anything. It's like I'm back in that nexus zone and it feels amazing. So not only am I getting that, but it's also making me very motivated. It's making me very passionate, and it's making me really want to work hard on my business. It's making me want to create all this content. And in the end, I'm going to be able to design all that, hopefully, so that it comes back to me both in the feelings that I get, but also in financial rewards, because I want to get well compensated for what I'm doing as well. And then, of course, I'm going to have the best of both worlds, because I'm going to have the money then that I can then use however I want, both for myself, but then I can use it for my family, and I can use it for charities if I want to, and I can use it in all sorts of different ways. Or I could even maybe reinvest it back in my business so that I can contribute even more by scaling my business up so that I can reach more viewers. So that's just one example with myself. I wanted to give a very specific, concrete example because it's hard to talk about this stuff in the abstract. So the takeaway here is I really want you to buy into this vision of the power of creative contribution and how much joy and fulfillment you can get from that. That's really a feeling that cannot be purchased no matter how much money you're making. And then, of course, that when you do have that feeling, you're going to be in a much better position to earn a lot of money. So you're really not sacrificing anything when you pursue this. The only trick is that, of course, you have to do some introspection, soul searching to get this to come about in your life. For me, it was really a 5-year process of doing this. And it was a scary process. I didn't really know if it was going to work for me. I didn't know a lot about personal development. I didn't have the resources that I'm providing to you right now at the time. So I had to kind of experiment and use trial and error to figure a lot of this stuff out. With you, I'm trying to fix that problem. I'm trying to make you a little bit more aware about what your options are. And I'm trying to give you the motivation, the push that you need to go out there and to pursue it. I think you need to live on your edge. If you want to have that kind of powerful, exciting life where you're really on your edge and you're getting the most out of life and you're going to die with no regrets, then it's going to come down to this. It's going to come down to saying, you know what, the job that I have right now maybe isn't quite as thrilling as I know it can be. And so I'm going to have the courage to go out there and do some soul searching and look around at the different opportunities and possibilities that are out there. Even though in the short run that might cost me some energy, might cost me some time, maybe I'll even have to take a cut in pay in the short term to figure out how this is all going to come together. And you tell yourself that basically you're going to commit to it and that you're going to find a way. Because that's what I did, is I said, I'm going to find a way. And I didn't know how, but eventually, it took 5 years. And I almost felt like I didn't make it. But in the end, I did. And I think that that path, with help from coaching, mentors, the resources that are out there, books, seminars, you can definitely figure it out. The only thing that's going to really determine whether you do it or not is your motivation, is your drive, your want for it. So that I see as being my biggest objective here, is to instill you with that vision. So the vision is creative contribution. It feels amazing. You want it in your life. If you haven't felt it before, you're really missing out. And I would also almost urge you to do something creative and put something creative out there in the world so you can just get a sense of it. Get a sense of what that feels like to have it. And if you've had it in the past and you don't have it very consistently anymore, the same way that I didn't, then I encourage you to do a little bit of soul searching, go through these videos, look especially on my stuff on life purpose and get that stuff handled so that you have that experience very consistently in your life. That's what I want for you. That's what's going to make you really fulfilled. That's what's going to make you really successful. All right? If you have any questions or comments, I want you to leave them down below. I love hearing comments about this stuff, especially this topic. Life purpose for me is a really deep, personal topic. So I love hearing about your guys' struggles and how these ideas could be helping you out and what else I can throw out here for you that can help you get this stuff figured out. All right, this is Leo signing off.